What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live, the number one Dodgers podcast and number one Dodgers show on YouTube. My name is Doug McCain. I cover the Dodgers for Dodgers Nation, a credentialed member of the media. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. If you're new to the channel, do me a huge favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like button. 136,000 subscribers, over 6 million views a month, the number one Dodgers YouTube channel. We're here to do giveaways. So we're working on a new giveaway package starting next week. And if you want to be eligible for our giveaways, you guys are the biggest reason why this channel and show is what it is. Comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you are eligible. Also, our Discord channel continues to grow. Love talking Dodger baseball down in that Discord channel. I mean, sometimes there's things you can't tweet. Sometimes there's things you don't really want to say. But Discord is a great place to really get it all out when it comes to the Los Angeles Dodgers and all your takes, all of your hot takes, everything Dodgers related. It's a lot of fun, so I highly recommend the Discord. I'll drop that link down below and drop those comments. We'll look for a comment of the show. We'll read it later in the seventh inning stretch. But we've got so much Dodger baseball to get into, so let's get right into it.
Leading off, the hottest story in Dodger baseball.
So the hottest story in Dodger baseball is that this morning, John Heaney reported that the Dodgers and Andrew Heaney, former Dodger, have agreed to a minor league deal. Now, this would be his third time within this Los Angeles Dodgers organization. We'll go back to some of the other ones in a second. A little funny tweet from a couple years ago, if you remember that, when he was briefly a Dodger, but then he was back a couple years ago. He was here for the 2022 season, and that year he was really good. In 2022 for the Dodgers, a 3.10 ERA. The strikeout rate was really impressive, a 35.5% strikeout rate, a very impressive 6.1% walk rate. That was the second lowest of his career. The issue with Heaney, as has been throughout his career, has been staying on the mound and being healthy enough to pitch. And the issue that year was he had a shoulder issue, and that shoulder issue limited him to making just 14 starts that year and pitching just 72 2/3 innings. But when he was on the mound, he was good. This year for the Pittsburgh Pirates, it was a very interesting season for the Southpaw, to say the least, because he got to a really good start as far as overall results. He posted a 3.33 ERA really up until the middle of June. And at that point, you're saying to yourself, okay, this guy could be an interesting trade target for a contender. But then you kind of looked under the hood, and you guys know there's a reason why I'm a big fan of statistics like SIERA or FIP or expected FIP, expected ERA, BABIP, things that give you an idea that the ERA that they've posted, the results that they've gotten, aren't necessarily a true indication of how good that pitcher really is. And usually when those numbers are out of whack, when you got a low ERA, a high FIP, a high SIERA, that tells you that there's going to be inevitably some negative regression to the mean. More often than not, that's going to be the case. Doesn't always happen. There's some exceptions to the rules, but in baseball, the numbers and the advanced numbers give you a really good idea of how a pitcher is performing and how they're ultimately going to perform. And when Andrew Heaney was posted at 3.30 ERA, he had a 4.53 SIERA, which told you that 3.33 ERA wasn't truly how good he was. And then ultimately, that came to a head. He ended up really struggling after that. He had the regression monster take its hit, and he had 7 runs in back-to-back starts after that, and in 42 innings after he posted 3.33 ERA up until mid-June. In those 9 starts, he also pitched 3 times in relief. He gave up 43 earned runs in 42 innings of work. The walk rate was still respectable at 7.3%, but the strikeout rate, which was already low at 18.5%, dropped to 12%. And the issue, I know a lot of you guys in the chat used to call him Home Run Heaney, right? The Heen dog. Ain't nothing but a Heen dog. Giving up homers all the time. That's what you guys would say. Giving up bombs. And he gave up a lot of home runs with the Dodgers. And this year, a 2.79 home runs per 9 innings pitched. So the home runs had continued to pile up. But the good thing for LA is this is simply a minor league deal. And they did sign it last night, I'm guessing. I mean, of course it happened. I mean, he clearly signed that deal yesterday, so he's eligible for the postseason. So whether it was during the day, whether it was at the buzzer late last night, we don't know that yet. But he's going to report to AAA Oklahoma City, so that is a minor league deal. And there was a lot of rumors in the last 48 hours that he was going to sign with a National League team. So that does tell me that there were multiple teams interested in Andrew Heaney. So this could mean a couple things. It could mean, one, the most obvious Occam Razors type of response here, that it's simply a move to give depth down at the minor league level. Or two, this is someone that they're going to try to unlock. He did have a lot of success with the Dodgers, and when he did, it was a very helpful tool to have against left-handed hitters. And we know that right now, Tanner Scott has not looked good. 8 blown saves, that's one off the worst mark as far as blown leads in Major League Baseball this year, an ERA close to 5. Anthony Bonda's been fantastic since the All-Star break. You still have Justin Robleski. Alex Vesia is on the IL, but that's going to be a short stint. He's going to be back very soon. He is on the mend, and everything I've heard is that the Alex Vesia injury is nothing to be too concerned over. I think this gives him a good opportunity to reset a little bit, to rest a little bit, and then make his way back for the stretch run. So I'm not worried about that. And then also, too, you just can never have enough pitching because there's always injuries and there's always lack of performance. So having someone that knows the Dodgers way, having someone that has had success with this organization, I'm sure Andrew Heaney wanted to be back with this organization because he did pitch well here when he was on the mound. Now, the question I have is, what happened from his time with the Dodgers till now? And he did have that stint in Texas. So with the Rangers, he did sign a 2-year deal with the Rangers, did have an opt-out, was not as great as far as the rate stats. He did pitch 307 1/3 innings in 59 starts, so he did make his starts. Had a 4.22 ERA, a 23.2% strikeout rate, a 7.6 walk rate. So I'm surprised that he lasted that long in free agency this past offseason, but he did sign a 1-year, $5.25 million deal with the Pirates, and that was viewed as a really high-value deal in the industry. So my question is, can you get him back to somewhere in between Dodgers Andrew Heaney and Rangers Andrew Heaney and early season Pirates Andrew Heaney? Because if that is the case, then this is someone who has experience pitching high-quality baseball at the big league level, and this should be a move to take seriously. I don't think he's the savior for the Dodgers pen or anything like that, but it wouldn't shock me to either see him pitch some meaningless innings to eat innings down the stretch, or depending on how things go with other guys in this bullpen, whether it be health-related, whether it be performance-related, to see him get an opportunity. Like Andrew Heaney does some things well, and we know that this is the MO for this front office at this point. You brought back Brock Stewart, you brought back Andrew Heaney, and yeah, I mean, under the hood, it doesn't look like there's that much to be optimistic about. I mean, you pull up his baseball savant, and yeah, it is really a lot of blue here. It is a lot of blue here for Andrew Heaney if you want to take a gander at this. I mean, want to try to kind of point out what a guy does well at a high level. And for Andrew Heaney, I mean, the chase rate is above average. The walk rate is above average, but everything else has been significantly below average. A 5.65 expected ERA, a 2.94 expected batting average, an 89.9 mile per hour fastballs in the 4th percentile. The strikeout rate at 16% is in the 9th percentile. Whiff percentage in the 12th percentile. Gets hit hard, doesn't miss barrels at an above average rate. So there's not a lot to look at here and be like, oh, heck yeah, Andrew Heaney's back. Okay, let's rock. Like when Brock Stewart came back, you looked at his Baseball Savant page and his ability to get right-handed batters out, and there was something to feel really good about. Andrew Heaney, not as much, but I do think the fact that the Dodgers know him so well and that you can just go back to the rules that you made for him, go back to the script that made him effective a couple years ago. It shouldn't be a long process to try to identify what they're going to try to do for him. You just kind of have to get back to where he was. So is this something, nothing, or everything? I wouldn't say this is nothing because I think he's going to pitch for the Dodgers at the big league level at some point. Like I said, if you find a way to go on a run here and the Padres continue to lose and you have the stranglehold in the division and hopefully you perform well against the Phillies when they come here and then you kind of get in a good spot with that number 2 seed and there's less pressure innings down the stretch. Yeah, I'm hoping that you can use someone like Andrew Heaney to keep guys in the bullpen fresh. Or if he looks good and you kind of get back to where he was, who knows? I mean, anything can happen for this Dodgers organization, but I do think that it's more depth. I think it's more to eat innings down the stretch to keep guys fresh and use kind of as a break in case of emergency option. But let me know down below in the comment section, what are your thoughts on Andrew Heaney? I know you're still not happy about Tanner Scott, who, hey, like I said, I'm not going to toot my own horn. But what did I say all season long? I've asked Tanner Scott about this. I've talked about this on the show a lot, and that is that he's throwing too many pitches in the zone. His walk rate is 5.6%. It's in the 89th percentile. That is a career low, and I've said it all year that when he makes mistakes in the zone, his stuff isn't good enough to get away with those mistakes. Yesterday against Corbin Carroll, a guy that he's already had his way with him earlier for a big home run against the Dodgers, he gives up another bomb. He should have gone with the slider there in that count, and he admitted as much after the game. So I'm curious to see what they do with Scott as far as an attack plan, because the encouraging thing is the velocity has creeped back up. Yesterday it was up significantly through like 98.7 miles per hour was his fastest pitch. That's got to be his fastest pitch all season long. So, yeah, the issue for Tanner Scott is that four-seam fastball has not been as effective. I mean, opponents are hitting 239 against it this year. They're hitting 134 against it last year. But the other issue, too, is the velocity has been down a little bit, and he's just been working in the zone. I want to see him kind of use a little more deception and have confidence that he can get guys to chase off the plate. But